You have the two eyes and the mouth and everything like that. It's kind of funny. The mouth of the penis face is the urethra. And you're going to look for the urethra, and how you're going to know it's the urethra is it'll have kind of an undulating, irregular luminal shape, and it's lined by a pretty thick purple epithelium. Now the tissue that's immediately surrounding the urethra is erectile tissue, and that specific erectile tissue is the corpus spongiosum. There will also be typically two chambers of erectile tissue more on the dorsal surface of the penis, and those erectile tissue chambers are collectively called the corpora cavernosa. So this is more on the ventral side of the penis, this is more on the dorsal side, and there's typically quite a few blood vessels on the dorsal side too. So those are just dorsal blood vessels. Now, some of our penis slides, they are from either a monkey or kind of an immature fetal human. And if you're either a monkey or an immature fetal human penis, you don't actually have two separate corpora cavernosa, you have kind of one. So keep that in mind as you look at the slide. This would be like an adult human. And the other difference is on the adult human penis sides we have, it's half of the penis. So instead of having the whole thing, they like sliced it whoosh, right there. So you end up with basically one of the two corpora cavernosa and half of a urethra, you know what I mean? So I'll show you that in a minute. So kind of keep those things in mind as you look at the penis slides. So let's take a look. Let's start with the monkey penis. Penis monkey. So you can't see the whole thing under low power. You might be able to see more of it, again, without a camera on here, but I'm going to have to kind of move around to show you the different parts. First of all, that's the skin on the outer surface of the penis. So that's just a stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. And then let's look for the urethra. There it is. Notice again kind of the irregular shape to the urethra, and it's lined by a nice purple epithelium. That means that this is erectile tissue around it. See how there's lots of kind of white space, lots of little open chambers for the blood to flow into? That's one reason that you can tell that it's erectile tissue. So if we did something like this on the test, corpus spongiosum would be the best answer versus urethra. Questions so far? So that must mean this is the ventral side of the penis. So if we go to the other side, this must be the dorsal side of the penis up here. So we should find some blood vessels somewhere up in here. Where are they? Oh, there's a couple. So here's looks like probably a vein that's filled with blood still. Here's an artery that looks pretty empty. So those are a couple dorsal blood vessels. So if you see blood vessels, but you see no vas in sight, you can assume that you're looking at the penis, not the spermatocord. So those will be dorsal blood vessels. And the erectile tissue up here, so look at all those chambers that would fill with blood. That erectile tissue is the corpora cavernosa. But there's only one chamber because this is a monkey penis. Here's some more dorsal blood vessels up here. Here's a big empty vein. Big empty vein there. All right. So again, corpora cavernosa, some dorsal blood vessels up in this neck of the woods, urethra is down below, and corpus spongiosum is the erectile tissue around the urethra.
At what point would you say it's not urethra and it is corpus spongiosum, or is it only the one
Outside the purple.
Okay.
Yeah. So the purple epithelium defines the edges of the urethra. All right, questions on that one? Let me show you that, the big half penis slide. This slide, I mean, it's large enough you could actually just put this down on paper and probably with your eyeballs see the different parts of the penis just as well as putting it underneath the microscope. So I'm on low power and still I'm way too close to see perspective here, but this is what erectile tissue looks like. You see all just those open white chambers, that's what's gonna fill with blood during an erection. Let's look for our urethra. Remember, we're only gonna see half of a urethra, because this whole thing was cut in half, right along here. This was the cut line. I can etch a sketch. There we go. So follow that. Here's my half a urethra. So you can see again the kind of undulating shape of the urethra. You can see it's lined by some sort of epithelium. So there's your urethra, which means this erectile tissue that immediately surrounds it is the corpus spongiosum. That means if I keep going, I should eventually run into some more erectile tissue. And there it is. So now I'm in some more erectile tissue. That's corpora cavernosa. And I should eventually get to the other side of the penis and see some more blood vessels. So here are some dorsal vessels. That's a nerve, quite solid. Where's another dorsal blood vessel? Oh, there. There's a big one. There's a big blood vessel. Smaller one there. Oh, that's a big one too. So anyway. So again, if you see a blood vessel but don't see a vas deferens inside, you can assume you're looking at a penis slide. The dorsal blood vessel. Get to know what erectile tissue looks like with all those open chambers, and then be able to recognize the urethra.
Can you go back to the cavernosa?
Sure. Right through there. That's all corpora cavernosa, all that erectile tissue. So again, it's got kind of an interesting look to it. It's kind of swirly open spaces. Now, I'll end with this. We only have one of these slides. It's kind of sad because it says penis, human fetus. But you'll only be sad for a moment. Because once you actually put the slide on, you'll realize that this penis face is smiling back at you. So the urethra happens to be curved into a smile here. There's a little gland right where a nose would be. And it's like this person is wearing like those nightshades, or maybe like a cool pair of sunglasses. This is the corpora cavernosa, but because this is a fetal penis, it hasn't separated into two chambers yet. It's still kind of just one.
Kind of fused?
Yeah, fused together. So you can see pretty much everything you want to see right here. That's the nice thing of having a smaller one. Low power, I can see it all. Urethra, that means this tissue that's immediately surrounding the urethra is corpus spongiosum. Corpora cavernosa. And you can see some dorsal blood vessels. Some are empty, like these two, and some are still have some blood in them, like those ones. All right, questions on penis slide? Okay, so again, for today, keeping on with your studies of histology, and you can take a break and look at models at any point as well.